Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have probably echoed the question. Yeah.
All right, Cohen is technical director for Water for Gas.
Yeah, I was just saying that I've been working with Water for Gas for about a year now, and I've worked with and spoken with probably in the thousands of people now, and hundreds of them have reported, with no vested interest in trying to convince me, they've reported back to me consistent results, 50%, 100%, sometimes even more better mileage in carbureted and older fuel-injected vehicles. So we're not talking about, taking aside the computer and the ECU counteracting the gain, taking that aside, 50 to 100% results using the very, very simple, inexpensive water for gas design at low amperage, not boiling water. We're not talking steam engine here, and with significant results that are lasting. And so that tends to conflict with what Zero was saying about you have to have a liter of HHO per liter of engine, which I'm not discounting, but I mean I've seen it personally, and I've heard from so many other people that you don't need that much, and a little bit goes a long way. So I'm trying to figure out how.
I have not collected any data that corroborates that. Okay. The data that I have collected, I mean, along our trip, and it's been a long journey. Along the way, we have produced cells that only produce, a quarter liter per minute, half liter per minute, total combined output, and you tried to use that and have not realized the gains that you claim or you claim to have seen. So if those gains are real, I would like to study those, because I believe those are anomalies that we can all learn from, because there are people out there who have reported, and I don't disbelieve what they are reporting to me. All I can say is I personally have not been able to replicate those gains on my vehicle with my particular emission systems that are on my car.
And granted, a lot of those were for a short amount of time.
And for carbureted cars.
For carbureted cars or for EFI cars for a short amount of time.
Right, for a short amount of time. And believe it or not, I even posted a video where I said, wow, I saw a 40% gain. It was the first time I had installed the HHO generator on the car. Never seen it since.
Right, that doesn't mean that that doesn't necessarily mean that the amount of HHO is inefficient. It means that the computer was, like what Michael was talking about, was countering it. So what problem are we addressing? Are we addressing the problem of insufficient HHO? Or
this is what you're addressing is my car. I've got a 94 Toyota Cell in the parking lot with a single jar. I followed everything in the book right to the letter. I did not deviate. I put the 16, well actually I've got 8 wires in it now. I put the 16 wires in, which is the little circle down on plastic. Mm-hmm. I ran it, and the only reason I got it, I had a dual-edge map sensor, but I couldn't get it tuned. So I figured the only way for me to test it temporarily 2 weeks ago is I only have one O2 sensor. I disconnected it temporarily to see what it was getting, and it's producing hydrogen like crazy. I don't know how much hydrogen I'm producing, but I went from 35.5 3 months in a row. That's what I was getting on average, my miles per gallon. And as soon as I pull that off, and I reset the computer by the method that he has in the book, which you take the fuses out or disconnect the battery, and 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off for 10 minutes after you set it with the setting. I went from 35.5 to 62.4 for 67 miles. And again, it worked fine, but again, because I don't have anything on the sensor, it immediately dropped back to the open loop, and I went right back to my 40, 41, 38, 39, 40, 41 miles per gallon again. Again, I don't have any technical knowledge. I don't know what amps, I don't know what, all I know is, but I've duplicated it 2 times already.
And you don't believe that the act of going through that process of disconnecting the fuses
that was frustrating.
And resetting the ECU was just making the ECU stupid enough to say I'm not going to tinker with the combustion process for a while until I know what's going on.
I did a temporary as a test just to see what was going to happen. But
right.
It's producing the energy level in the car just went through the ceiling.
The only thing I would say to you, sir, is I would like to see you do that same that same thing again. I'm sorry to put you through that.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
Say
I would like,
what
I would like.
All I
to
know
see-
is what I got.
I would like to see you do that same thing again, go through that whole process of disconnecting the ECU without HHO
Not
running.
ECU.
Well, yeah, right, I understand that, but whatever it is you went through,
That's all I did.
okay, I would like to see you do that again without HHO, and do a mileage test without the HHO going, and see if you don't see those same benefits for a short period of time.
I'll try it and I'll email it to Art.
There's two trains of thought in HHO that's been going on, and I'm not on YouTube, I'm not on any of this stuff, and nobody really knows what I've done. But the bottom line is that you can either go with high hydrogen and just force the engine to accept it, or you can go with lower hydrogen and make the fuel more efficient. See, and that's the hard thing is that engines hate high hydrogen. It goes against the whole design of an internal combustion engine to be able to have an advance. My van has a 42-degree advance. Hydrogen burns in a millisecond. Okay, so it is burning before the piston ever comes to the top of the cylinder. If we look at the overall engine and the overall engine design and how gasoline, chemically breaks down, the purpose of hydrogen for me, okay, is to be able to fill when we break the long chain hydrocarbons in an engine into small chain hydrocarbons, that the hydrogen from the hydrogen unit is to fulfill and stabilize the small chain hydrocarbons. That's my approach, okay? And I went from 22 miles to the gallon to 34 miles to the gallon. I've gotten 50 miles to the gallon, but I can't maintain 50. But I maintain going down every single day 34 miles to the gallon from 22 miles to the gallon. So there is significant gains. Do I only use hydrogen? No, I don't, okay? I use xylene. I use fuel heaters, okay? I use magnets. I believe that hydrogen is part of the answer. But if we look at any one of the particular issues, we are now looking at that as the mecca instead of looking at, let's incorporate many different, myriad, and that's what the roundtable's for, is to be able to get many attitudes and avenues to come forward and say, okay, this is one end of the spectrum. Just blow hydrogen into this thing and make it take it. Or let's use a minimal amount of hydrogen that will make the combustion process more effective and utilize the fuel. Because we're not talking about a 100% hydrogen engine here. We're
Right.
talking about a gas-driven
Absolutely.
engine that is going to incorporate hydrogen to make it more effective. And to be perfectly honest with you, why I'm a minimalist, okay, is because how many people driving a soccer mom car is going to mount an alternator this big, okay? They're not going to do it. So for me to have a 3/4 or a liter per minute or a liter per minute fuel cell that is incorporating magnets, heaters, break down the fuel is the most effective possible way. Break it down to a fuel that can now be burned in the engine instead of the catalytic converter. That, to me, that's my whole focus and my whole direction. So I'm not going to be building 10-liter units unless I'm driving, like I'm working on an 83-foot boat. I need 10 liters a minute for a monster engine. But for the average car that is driving 60 or 70 miles an hour, the internal damage for huge cells against cast iron and aluminum heads, different materials inside the engine is dramatic. The chances of it skyrocket with large volumes. So I'm not a large volume guy. I'm a minimalist.
For further clarification, everything that you said, I did.
Yeah.
I put Kuiper wires on. I've got the